Hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Joy with Intention, the podcast. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for returning back. If you're not new, and if you are new, well, welcome here. I'm your host, Joy, if I haven't already said that. Today is just going to be a really quick bonus episode because obviously I didn't post this past Sunday because I've had some technical difficulties, but I decided, you know what, I'm still going to get an episode out there. So yeah, we've got an episode today on a Thursday, kind of like my schedule when I first started the podcast, when I used to upload on both Thursdays and Sundays, so not too bad. But yeah, today we'll be talking all about consistency and being consistent with your goals and how to be more consistent. So yeah, that's gonna be what we're talking about today. So I say let's get straight into the episode. Well, hello everybody. How are we all today? I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a wonderful week so far. We're nearly coming to the end of the week. Friday soon. Woo! As I said in the brief introduction to today's episode, I have had some technical difficulties, you guys, so that explains why there hasn't been an episode this past Sunday, but I really do love being on the podcast and I really do love talking to you guys still, so I thought, you know what, I'll still do a podcast episode today, even if it's not a video one, even if it's just audio. I still want to connect with you guys, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just sitting here, just recording, and yeah, we're gonna be talking. I don't know if I already said about in the intro, but I said we're going to be talking about consistency. I kind of touched up on this in the previous episode I did on embracing gratitude, which you can go watch on YouTube and you can listen to all streaming platforms if you wish. But I just did it was a really quick touch on consistency, but when I posted a snippet from the episode of that part of the episode to my socials, I did say that I was going to do an episode of this at some point in further detail, so I thought, you know what, why not do this today, especially because today I'm planning for it to be a really quick chat, but I mean, with me and my love for yapping, you never know. You really never know. So yeah, let's get straight into it, you guys. So last week I utilized the resources from this account on Instagram called Mind of Eva. Her content is absolutely amazing. I love seeing it on my feed all the time, you know. Sometimes I'll just need an extra boost with my motivation or like just some inspiration, and her account is always my go-to. So I will be sure to put down the link for her post and her account in the show notes. You'll be able to find her there and go follow if you wish. But yeah, because last week we did talk about gratitude and I just did dip into this topic just a little bit. But I found that she did a post on the exact topic that I wanted to talk about. So I was like, you know what is better than to utilize her resources for today? So usually what I do when I do use other people's resources, I'll like read out like one slide and then I'll give like my own little take on it. Like it's like we're just like working through it together, because I feel like especially sometimes I'll be going through different posts on Instagram and stuff and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, but I need to hear someone talk it through, or like to hear the thought process behind it, you know what I mean? So that's what I do on this show. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So her post is titled How to Be Consistent in Life. Now on slide 1 she says, how to be consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to achieving your goals, building lasting habits, and living a more balanced life. But staying consistent can be challenging, especially when we're busy working or studying full-time and trying to balance having a social life, stay healthy and fit, as well as have good habits and be productive. I wanted to make a guide on how you can build and maintain consistency in your habits, routines, and overall life. On slide 2, she goes on to talk about starting small. She says, consistency is built through small, manageable actions. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, Start with one or two habits or changes in your routine that are easy to implement. When these become second nature, you can gradually introduce and add more. Think of it as creating a foundation before expanding. Also, working on improving one thing at a time will help you build confidence and trust with yourself. Now, I just want to put this into perspective, especially in the eye of wellness culture today. I saw this reel at some point, and it was just basically this woman saying, like, you know what, it's okay not to be productive every single day, and it's okay not to feel like you're making massive amounts of progress every single day, because even Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm pretty sure the people who built it are glad that it wasn't, you know what I mean? And I was just thinking about that, and I was like, that's actually quite true, because realistically, most of the things, all of the big things that you'll see that have been established today, they all had to start from somewhere. They all had to start from the bottom floor. They had to all start from floor zero, and they had to build themselves up. But it was tiny bricks that had to be added in for it to all come together. You know, there had to be a foundation, and there had to be the infrastructure. It all had to be worked out for it to come together eventually. And I think that is honestly so key, because I feel like in such a microwave mentality generation that we live in right now, we always, even I can't lie, I've been a victim of this too. I tend to want to have everything done immediately, have my results immediately, have my success immediately, you know. If I want to start seeing results immediately, and then I have to remember that consistency is key. And I feel like I know there's a reason why people probably say that, because so like, even if you put it into like an academic sense, there's a reason why your tutors and your professors will always tell you, guys, you can't just start revising for the exam like literally like a day before, especially as you move higher into the education system. You have to stay consistent, because I feel like once we start to fall in love with the actual journey and start to appreciate it as well as we do the destination, we start to realize that we should actually be appreciating the journey just as much as we do the destination, because you will need preparation to be able to fully enjoy and embrace the destination you have just reached. So, you may learn skills and you may learn attributes and all kinds of things that you may have needed for the destination and to fully be prepared for it. But if you went on the journey to it, you won't have been prepared for it. So, like, okay, you want to go into a really challenging career, right? Think back to when you were back in education. You had to, and imagine this is a really challenging career. It required a lot of discipline, it required a lot of consistency, it required a lot of resilience, it required a lot of consistently coming back and bouncing back and uplifting yourself, and just it required a lot from you. And imagine if you just woke up one day and then boom, you ended up there. You wouldn't be prepared. You would not be prepared, because what school has taught you, the fact that you had to sit there going through the absolute motions, sitting there putting the work in for your exams, for your coursework, for whatever. You were building those skills and you didn't even know it. Every time you didn't do so great in an assignment or a task, but you still kept coming back, you proved that you now have resilience. Every single time you asked a question or you sought help, you proved that you are willing to learn. You know, every single time that you constantly kept going even when you didn't want to, you proved that now you have developed the skill of discipline. And all of these skills are so key if you ever want to go anywhere in life, and if you ever want to achieve the goals that or dream or see those dreams that you have in your mind. So I think that's so key. Like, consistency really is important, and it really, you don't need to have everything figured out all at once. You don't, because I feel like, especially once you put so much pressure on yourself, I tend to do this sometimes myself. I put so much pressure on myself. I give myself these really unrealistic goals to get done in like however sometimes I'll be so ridiculous with it. I'll expect myself to get like 30 tasks done in 2 days, and then I'll come back a week later. And then I'm like, girl, be so for real. What were you on about? Like, what were you actually on about? And then I sit there wondering why I eventually gave up, because I hardly even got through 2 tasks. And I've still got about, what? Like 15 tasks waiting for me. And then I'm just like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this right now. I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna give up. Like, even like, because I remember I even saw this reel. I was just scrolling on Instagram, and then I remember I saw this reel, and it was like, this girl, she was like getting cozy on her couch, because she was like, what was it? She was like, getting cozy on my couch and just gonna do nothing. No, she said doing nothing because I've too much to do. That's what it was. And I was just thinking, you know what? She's so real for that. But I think that's what we tend to do I think that also feeds into time management and planning our time out. And because we're not staying consistent with our goals and with what we're doing to prepare for our goals, we're trying to do everything all at once, or we're trying to get it all done within a certain time frame that doesn't allow us to breathe and actually process what we've been doing, what we've been learning. So I feel like that's why consistency is so key, and how it really does affect your life. Like, I feel like, because the thing is, I tend to procrastinate so much, like it's so bad, but that's because I've had really bad time management, and I've had really bad planning skills. I can't lie, I'm a really good planner. I just really tend to over plan, in the sense that I tend to give myself too many tasks to do in such a small amount of time. And then obviously I know I can't do it, but I still do it to myself. And then after, when I can't, I get so angry at myself and I beat myself up. And then it's like a cycle over and over again. And I'm trying to end that cycle. So yeah, this is your sign. If you're like that too, you need to end that cycle. So on slide 3, she goes on to talk about establishing routines. And she says, routines create sorry. Yeah, she says, routines can create structure in your day, helping you stay on track. Whether it's a morning routine, a work schedule, or an evening routine, having a predictable flow reduces decision fatigue. It also increases the likelihood that you will stick to your habits because they'll become part of your daily rhythm. Set clear intentions of what you want to achieve from your routines and build your habits around that. I don't think I need to add on to that too much anyway. I mean, routines can, especially if you're someone who doesn't like, you wake up, so like if you're like how I can be sometimes, I'll be like, okay, I've got so much to do, and then I'll basically say, you know what, I'm not even gonna write it down the night before. I'm just gonna wake up and I'm gonna magically remember it. And then after I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I'm thinking is like, what am I gonna do today? Like, I know I have so much to do, but what am I gonna do? What have I actually got to do? Like, I know I've got so many tasks, but now even starting to think of actually getting them all down on paper and actually remembering all of them. It's a task. Like, do I have the energy for this? Like, if you're someone like that, establishing a routine will really help. That's what I'm starting to implement as of right now, because I think I need some consistency, you know? I need something that I know I can I can rely on, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I've been going along with the flow too long. And the thing is, I'm not even someone who's up for like really, really intense routines. I'm just like, you know what? Let's have a rhythm. So whether that's me, I wake up, I pick up my Bible, I spend about 5 to 10 minutes in it. Then I already kind of have my own little routine, because I know I brush my teeth, then I shower, then I wash my face, and I get dressed, and I have breakfast. That's also kind of a routine in itself. So I feel like just having something where you know you have consistency, because I feel like that also helps you stay a lot more prepared for the days ahead and for the next days if you can. And I feel like also that helps you plan ahead, because it's like, now that I know what my morning routine is. That means I know what time I'll be waking up. That means I can have a slower morning. I can have a lot more of a chill morning. I won't be rushing around every day because I don't know where this thing is, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know what I'm doing because I'm just all over the place. I've now got something in place where I know, okay, it goes like this. So everything that I need for today, it will have been ticked off at some point in the routine, so I feel like that really helps, because also how you do start your day really does matter, and how you allow the tone of your day to be set. It does have an impact whether you realize it or not. The difference you'll have in your day if you started off your morning stressed, and you started it off complaining, and you started it off just panicking, versus if you started off your day when everything was going smoothly. You started it off chill, you started it off with it with more intention and a lot more peace and serenity. It will have such a big impact on your day. So I feel like that's also why that's really good to implement into your life. Yeah, and then on slide 4, she goes on to talk about set clear goals. She says consistency is easier when you know what you are working towards. Define specific and measurable goals, including those for your habits and routines. You can use the SMART principle and start by breaking down larger goals into smaller, actionable steps, so that each day and week you know exactly what to focus on. This adds purpose to your actions. And then on slide 5, she goes on to talk about track your progress. This is so key, guys. This is so key. This is so key. Oh my gosh. I'm even going to have to talk to myself about this one. She says, tracking your progress when it comes to habits or goals allows you to visually see the progress that you are making. Use a habit tracker to see how well you are able to be consistent. As for goals, I like to break them down into monthly and weekly goals and write them down in my journal, or there are many pre-made trackers on Notion. Having a visual reminder of your progress keeps you accountable and more likely to stay consistent. So guys, tracking your progress is so key. I think I did talk about this just a bit in my last episode, but I'll just basically talk. No, I think this was actually in the episode before my last episode. So I was just kind of talking about how, when you can't see how far you've come, you start to think you've made no progress at all, which means that you quit and you give up. When you think that what you're doing is for absolutely no reason, that's when you start to quit and you start to give up. That's something I used to do for a long time, and sometimes I still do. That's why I've been learning to do a lot more of effective planning, and I've also been learning to track my progress and track my goals, because even though progress may not be big, it may not be monumental, it may be slow, it may be taking its time, it may go unrecognized, it is still progress. It is one step of you getting closer to your goal. Even there was I was on my phone just like I think yesterday, and then I saw this thing and I had to post it to my story. It was like, because I have like a motivation quotes app on my phone, so I get both notifications on my phone, and then I have it as like a little widget underneath the time. So on the same screen it said, never underestimate the power of consistency and desire. And then the next quote said, sometimes it takes 10 years to get that 1 year that will change your life. And then I saw a video on TikTok of a woman saying, there will be some people who are watching what you're doing. They're impressed, but they've just not said anything. There will be some people who are watching what you're doing. Maybe they're even taking notes, but they've not said anything. That's your sign. Just because you're not getting the recognition that you think you deserve, or you're not being accoladed or talked about, or you're not hearing your name being renowned for the progress you think you're making or for the goals you think you've achieved, you still keep going and you still keep showing up, because someone out there are gonna be, even I was sitting there talking about this with one of my friends over coffee, I think last week. She was saying, there are gonna be people who are looking at what you're doing and they're gonna be impacted by it in a really good way. There's gonna be people who really admire what you're doing and love what you're doing. Maybe they've been taking notes about it, but they may never even say, they may never tell you, you may never know, but they are there. That's why you should stay consistent. And then there was another TikTok I even saw, and there's this guy, and he was saying, "You are one step away." Oh, this one is so funny. I'm trying to remember what he said. I think he said, "You're one step away from everyone acting like they believed in you. You're literally one step away from everyone acting like they believed in you all along." You are one step away from that. He's basically saying you're one step away from reaching that goal that you've been always banging on about, that you've been so adamant that you are going to achieve. You've been putting the work in, you've been getting the skills, you've been attending the workshops, attending the seminars, you've been doing the extra learning, you've been doing the research, you've been building the connections, you've been meeting the people, you've been finding the funds, you've been doing whatever it is or whatever it needs to whatever it takes to achieve that goal. You've been putting in the work, and there are people who haven't been believing in you. There are some people who have decided, you know what, I don't really believe in their goal, I don't really see their vision, but if it works out, best believe I'll be back. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh yeah, I believe in them, because everyone wants a little bit of a taste of a clout. That's what I'm saying. Like, you never even I don't know if you've seen that, like, that picture, and it'll be like a guy, and he's in the mine. It's like he's in a diamond mine, and it's like, imagine it's like a wall, and he's been going at it for so long that he just eventually gives up. But then you see the space between the other side of the wall where he's at, and then the other side where the diamond is. It's so tiny, but he gave up just when he was about to hit what the goal he's been waiting for, and he's been grinding so hard for, because he didn't stay consistent, because he didn't believe in his own goals enough that he was willing to keep going, even when it got tough, even when he started to lose hope, even when he was starting to lose the vision and was starting to lose sight of what he was doing. He stopped, and he didn't get to reap the benefits of all the work he'd been putting in. And I don't know, it was just so sad. So, yeah, track your progress. Remember how far you've come. Celebrate how far you've come. Even if no one celebrates you, you celebrate yourself. You congratulate yourself, and you keep going. You pick yourself up and you keep going, because honestly, it is such a blessing that you've even been able to come this far. Like, honestly, it's sometimes you have to take a look back at where you've been brought from and how far you've come to realize just how blessed you actually are, and how much you've actually, because sometimes you'll even be doing things, you'll think you're just doing something casual, but realistically the average person would not be able to do what you're doing. So you keep going, you keep grinding, because it will all be worth it at some point. Well, hello, you guys. How are we? I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I just wanted to give you guys a really quick reminder of ways that you can help to support the show and get it out there to so many other people about the candid wellness conversations we have here surrounding lifestyle and personal growth. You can either give the show a quick subscribe, rate, and review from whatever platform you're listening on, and share with a friend. And if you do want to give to the show financially to help keep it running, there will always be links in my show notes which you can click on, and it will take you to all of the links to all of the podcast social media, so you can connect with me, and all of the links to support if you wish to. And thank you so much for all of your support, you guys. It's truly and greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And then on slide 7, she goes on to say, don't rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting like any other emotion, but discipline lasts. Don't wait to feel motivated to do something. Build systems that ensure that you will stick to your habits, routines, or goals, even when you don't feel like it. This could mean setting reminders, having a structured day plan, or even preparing the night before for the next day. For example, I like to incorporate my habits into my daily to do list on Notion to ensure that I do them. So yeah, I feel like that slide honestly does speak for itself. And on a little topic, I know she's mentioned Notion quite a bit. It is amazing app, website, slash, whatever it is, and I use it. I literally live, love, and laugh Notion. Like, don't even play with me. Like, me and Notion are locked in. Like, I feel like it's hard when you first start to use it, but once you get used to it, it's amazing. There's loads of YouTube tutorials on YouTube to show you how to use it. But it is literally like the ultimate way to plan and organize your life. Like, you will not be mad. Like, once you get used to it, and also because you can use other people's templates, like, it's just amazing for organizing your life and getting everything together. Like, you can have it all in one place together, without taking up any storage on your actual device, or any iCloud storage, depending on what type of device you use. So yeah, that's really good. I really sorry, what's it advise, yeah, I really advise that you guys check it out. It is so good. It's really helped me improve my planning skills. I have like my whole calendar in there. I put my playlist in there. I put like I literally plan all of my episodes in there. I do everything in there, guys. So I may have not done an amazing job at explaining what it is, but you guys should still go and really check it out. It is amazing. I've literally told all of my friends to start using it, and they have told me, yeah, girl, honestly, I'm so glad you put me on. Like, you were on something. I was like, yeah, it's really intimidating at first, but you'll grow to love it. So yeah. And then number 8, be patient with yourself. Being consistent doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. There will be days when you miss a habit or fall off track with your routines. Instead of getting discouraged, practice self compassion and start again the next day. Progress is never linear, but if you strive to do 1% better every day, you are still moving forward, and that's the most important mindset shift to adopt. I feel like that's so good. Even the part where she says, start again the next day. Guys, every minute is an opportunity to start again. Every hour is an opportunity to start again. Every day is an opportunity to start again. Every week is an opportunity to start again. Every month, every year. Guys, we can start again. It's like, even when you think about it right now, you can start again if you decide to right now. Right now in this moment, if you want to start again, you can do it. And who's going to stop you? No one. You can literally decide right now. Okay, I'm going to start again. Okay, I'm going to start a clean slate. Okay, I'm going to get myself together right now. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to start putting myself together. I'm going to put the work in right now. I'm going to start right now. You can decide right now that you're going to start again. You can decide that you're going to actually start choosing to be happy and start going after your goals. The choice always lies with you, and you can start right now. You can start finding ways to be able to bring that about in your life. Nothing is ever set in stone so much, you know what I mean? So if things don't go the way you planned, okay, that's okay. That's life. That's honestly life. Things don't always go to plan. Life is not perfect, but you've got to be able to you've sorry you've got to be able to adapt. You've got to be able to learn how to bounce back and stay resilient and overcome all the obstacles that will come your way, because there will be obstacles that come your way. But how are you going to react to them? How are you gonna let them change and affect your life? How are you gonna embrace them? What are you gonna do with them? That's what's important to your journey. And then slide 9, she talks about Adjust regularly. She says, check in with yourself regularly. As you are going through life changes, your habits, routines, and goals can change too. Take the time every week to evaluate the progress on your goals, and once a month to see how you are doing with your habits. If something isn't working or no longer aligns with your goals, adjust it. Consistency is not about rigid rules, but finding what works best for you in each season of your life. And friends, that is the end of the whole slideshow that she does. This was such a good, this is honestly such a good episode. I think even I'm gonna listen back to this and I'm gonna look at points that I've said and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I feel, you know, when you feel convicted by something, like you're like, okay, I know that's speaking to me right there. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be listening back to this episode and I'm gonna be like, okay, I know I need to hear that, like, because honestly, consistency, it's such, I feel like it's something that we tend to overlook so much. Like, it's something that we tend to not even realize the power of. But I feel like once you start to actually realize what consistency does in your life, especially if you have been doing something consistently and then you've not even realized that, oh yeah, this is the power of consistency, and then you're like, oh, okay, it is, honestly, it is life changing, guys. Like, it is life changing. So yeah, be sure to remember to check in with yourself, track your progress, and celebrate yourself as well, even if no one else celebrates you. Because if you don't, who will? And at the end of the day, it's your goal that you're trying to achieve, not someone else's. So you can't always be relying on external validation just so that you can get the all clear to keep going after your goals. It's not gonna work that way, because there are gonna be times when you're gonna be the only one cheering for yourself, and you're gonna be the only one rooting for yourself, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with not everyone always believing in your goals, not everyone believing in your dreams. There are some of the biggest people, there's some of the most successful people. I can bet you right now, not every single person in their life has fully 100% believed in their goals or in their dreams. They've had doubts, they've had questions, whether they've said them or not, but they still kept going, and that's why they are where they are now. And even, I don't know if you've seen that quote, and it's like, do you remember that guy who gave up? No, I don't either. Because the people who give up, they never achieve their goals, which means they never get the recognition that they deserve. They never get renowned for that goal or that dream they achieved. They don't. Because if you give up, who's going to remember you? No one's going to remember the person that gave up. And if they do, it's not going to be for the right reasons anyway, not for the reasons that you want. So, what narrative are you going to choose today? What narrative are you going to choose to go by? The power all lies with you. Well, yeah, that is it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really, truly hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. And I hope that this episode has really impacted you and it's inspired you. And yeah, how can you share what you've learned with other people? How can you share the lessons and all the good stuff that you've learned today with someone else? How can you implement it into your life? Because sometimes when you start to implement things into your life and your life starts to change, people around you start to think, what's been going on with you? Why are you starting to upgrade? You tell them the secret, girl. So yeah, I really hope that you guys all enjoyed today's episode. But yeah, I will talk to you guys. I don't know when I'll talk to you guys next. Hopefully I don't have any more technical difficulties, but if I don't, I will be back. You guys. So I hope you have a lovely week, afternoon, day, evening, whatever time you listen to this episode. Be sure to give the show a rate and a review, or subscribe, or like, or comment, or whatever, to be able to support it and get it out there to so many other people. That'll be so greatly appreciated. And yeah, that is me out, you guys. Bye.